The Miami Heat might have just won their biggest game of the NBA season, and it came against an Eastern Conference rival in a legitimate playoff atmosphere down here in South Florida. We'll recap the win as well as where the Miami Heat currently sit in the Eastern Conference standings on the heels of the Indiana Pacers in that beloved 6th seed for the playoff spots in the Eastern Conference. We'll break this all down on this episode of Heat Digest, where we create daily Miami Heat content. So if that interests you, subscribe to the channel, as 84% of you guys currently watching this video are not currently subscribed. I will say, after last video, you guys did a phenomenal job going down and clicking that subscribe button, getting us to that goal of 1,200 subscribers. But obviously, we are not going to stop there. So now it is the road to 1,300 subscribers. Go down, click the subscribe button if you are part of that 84%. It means the world to us. We do see all the love and support, so thank you guys once again. Now let's get to it and break down this massive Miami Heat win as they leap a bit closer to teams like the Indiana Pacers and now even the New York Knicks, who were currently sitting in the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference. But after losing 3 games in a row, including tonight's amazing win for the Miami Heat, brutal loss for the New York Knicks, they are currently sitting in the 5th seed, tied with the Orlando Magic in record. But again, because Orlando owns a tiebreaker, they are sitting above them. And then we have the Indiana Pacers, who have not moved from the 6th seed in what feels like an eternity. Just a half game above our Miami Heat, who are 42-33 and have won 3 games in a row, 7 out of our last 10 and 4 out of our last 5. Really playing really good basketball, especially as of late. We had that 60-point win against the Portland Trailblazers on Friday night. We won on Easter, and now we win once again Tuesday, April 2nd against the New York Knicks, who were just in the 3 seed of the Eastern Conference just days ago. Now, due to losses, they once again fall like all these other teams, as it's just been a absolute bombshell of a race in the Eastern Conference, and the Miami Heat are right in the middle of it, as now we are it seems like going to make a legitimate push for a definitive playoff spot in this Eastern Conference. Now, this game was a tale of 2 different halves, and we have to give credit where it's due to Terry Roziers, who had his best game in a Miami Heat uniform this year. Here's the stats from the first half when we're talking about the battle of the point guards. Now, this was obviously the biggest battle of the game, as Jalen Brunson is really the lifeline for this New York Knicks team, as they are without Julius Randle due to his injury from months ago, from early or mid-January, if you will. Brunson finished the first half with 6 points on 2 of 8 shooting, while Terry Roziers had 20 points on 6 of 8 shooting from the field. He was fantastic all night long, especially in the first half for the Miami Heat, and it didn't end there, as he continued his play throughout the rest of the game. He finished with 34 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists on 8 of 11 3-point shooting, including 2 3-point shots in the fourth quarter that seemed like there was just an impossibility that he was going to be able to make the shots due to good defense, late shot clocks, falling to his left, falling to his right. It did not matter, as every time we needed a big bucket down the stretch to a New York Knicks team that seemed to really be putting things together, especially down the stretch of that fourth quarter, leave it to Terry Roziers as the ball was in his hands, and it seemed like he was as cool as he could possibly be regardless of the situation, and he made big shot after big shot, and we are extremely thankful for it, because it propelled us to a massive victory for this Miami Heat team after being up large, especially in the first half. Really, the first 3 quarters, the New York Knicks were able to storm back against this against this Miami Heat team, going on an 8-0 run, cutting a 12-point lead to 4, and then it cut it to 2. Then they tied the game even. It seemed like the Miami Heat were in shambles. The game was there for the New York Knicks to take, as all the momentum had left the building. It seemed like the New York Knicks fans even traveled well, as the place was rocking, not only for the Miami Heat, but for the New York Knicks when they went on that fourth quarter run, and it ended up that the Miami Heat were able to prevail due to their good defense and their even better offense. Now, here is the box score. Yes, we already highlighted Terry Roziers, but for the other starters, Duncan Robinson and Jovic both got starts tonight. They did not do a lot for either of them offensively, but that is okay, as Jimmy Butler had 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists with a plus-minus of +10. He shot 5 of 12 from the field, including 1 of 3 from the 3-point line and 6 of 6 from the free throw line. I will say that Jimmy Butler came out in that first half. He had 13 points at halftime and did a phenomenal job facilitating the basketball, especially early in that first quarter, as when we got in those half-court sets, the Miami Heat were doing an exceptional job on the offensive end. We ended with 11 threes in the first half, shooting over 50% from the field after that first half, and it was really due to the ball movement by the Miami Heat, and I feel like Jimmy Butler Butler did an exceptional job really being the tone setter, if you will, not really just scoring the basketball. Yes, he was a bit more aggressive. He did have 13 points at halftime, but again, Rozier was really on a heater, not only for the first half, but for the game. But again, Jimmy Butler did a phenomenal job facilitating the basketball and really allowing the Miami Heat to understand not to allow the ball to stick and really run in one-on-one offense and allow the offense to really stall out and then failed to score the basketball time after time, possession after possession, really allowing the Miami Heat to grow a lead on this New York Knicks team that really just grew to a 15-point victory for the half at least. And again, that's not where it ends. We have to give credit to some of the bench players. Yes, Kevin Love he played minutes here tonight for the first time in 3 games after being back for the last 3 games. Tonight he actually did get some playing time, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists with a block. Didn't do a lot, but again, he was very useful. Haywood Highsmith, this guy is not going to get the credit he deserves, but over the last 3 or 4 games, this guy has legitimately almost been our MVP of the season. He has been phenomenal. Not only the defense, but the 3-point shooting has been absolutely amazing for Haywood Highsmith. Down the stretch of that fourth quarter when the Miami Heat were really stalling out on offense, seemed like everything we were trying to run wasn't even considered working, and then down the stretch we got down to late shot clock situations, broken play after broken play, stalled out offense after stalled out possession. We found Haywood Highsmith, who was in a one-on-one scenario with a late shot clock, catching the ball from a Terry Rozier, really just flip pass to really reset the offense to get it back to the top of the key. Haywood Highsmith just pulled the 3-point shot from the left elbow, and he buried it. It was one of the biggest shots of the game tonight, and it came from Haywood Highsmith, who shot 6 of 11 from the field, 2 of 4 from behind the 3-point line, adding 14 points, 8 rebounds, and assist with a single steal, a plus-minus of -1, but it really does not give the credit because he was amazing all night long, not only on the offensive end, but more importantly on the defensive end, on Jalen Brunson, on DiVincenzo, who really gave us problems all night long. And he really, credit to Haywood Highsmith, because without him, we would have not won tonight, and we wouldn't have won a bunch of these games, especially as of late, due to what he brings to the game night in and night out for Miami. Now, this game ended 109-99. It was a hell of a lot closer in the second half than it should have been. It says here that in the fourth quarter we were tied in total points scored, 26 apiece for the New York Knicks and the Miami Heat. It did not start that way in the fourth quarter, as the Miami Heat were awful. We were abysmal in the fourth quarter, really not as great in the second half as we were in the first half. But once again, credit to Terry Rozier, who had big shot after big shot. Credit to Haywood Highsmith, obviously, as he had that big 3 down the stretch like we just mentioned. But again, Terry Rozier really kept the Miami Heat's offense going as things were seriously stalling out. It seemed like even when we were getting good shots, there was hesitations, there was anxiousness where we were bobbling the ball. I'm really hinting at the play where we had a great shot down the stretch, fed to Bam Adebayo, who flashed in the paint where it seemed like New York was really running a zone. So Bam flashed in the paint. He caught. He went to turn to take a shot. He bobbled the ball. He just wasn't able to put it up immediately. It resulted in Mitchell Robinson really recovering well and making the shot incredibly hard for the Miami Heat. It was like a 4-minute drought where we did not score. That was when the New York Knicks were on that 8-0 run, cutting a 12-point lead to 4, and it seemed like all the momentum was gone from the Miami Heat. Thankfully, again, 4 Terry Roziers, 2 falling away threes, 1 from the left elbow, the other from the right elbow. And then that Haywood Highsmith step up, really spot up 3-point shot where he got the assist from Terry Rozier. Those are the 3 biggest shots of the game. Bam did have a massive shot down the stretch to really extend the lead from 6 to 8. That was a massive shot as well. But again, Bam did not do a lot on the offensive end. 6 of 9, extremely efficient, but once again, not doing a lot. Again, 15, 9, and 1 from Bam Adebayo with 1 steal. And overall, a good game from the Miami Heat. It was a lot closer down the stretch. The fourth quarter was not our quarter overall, but again, we won it down the last 3 minutes, last 2.5 minutes of that fourth quarter, and we were able to pull away and win this game. Now, this is where the fun starts. Now, we had 8 games going into this game, or this was the 8th game remaining for the Miami Heat of this NBA season, and we play again in 2 days against the Philadelphia 76ers, and I don't have to tell you how important this game is. Yes, we have a game and a half lead on them in the Eastern Conference standings, but this is not the time to get complacent. With only a half game difference between us and the 6-seeded Indiana Pacers, we have to take advantage and really make a push. We need to beat the Philadelphia 76ers, who are going to have Joel Embiid most likely as he returned tonight in the game they were playing against the Oklahoma City Thunder, before going on the road for a 3-game road stretch where we have honestly our biggest game of the NBA season against the Indiana Pacers, due to the fact that we're probably going to either be tied in record or, again, just a half game back from them when we do play on, I believe that is Sunday night on April 7th in Indiana. Again, I cannot fathom how important these games are going to be for the Miami Heat, especially the game Thursday night against Philly and then Sunday night against the Indiana Pacers. These are probably going to be two of the three biggest games for the Miami Heat, going alongside with this New York Knicks massive win as the Miami Heat won a game where it felt like a legitimate playoff game. If you did not watch this game or if you were at the game live, this felt like a legitimate playoff game. It felt like the OG Miami Heat New York Knicks rivalry from the 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14 seasons. I know that's a lot of seasons, but again, if you were able to witness these seasons from the Miami Heat standpoint, we were battling with Amari Stoudemire, Carmelo Anthony, Mon Shumpert, J.R. Smith, just those classic New York Knicks teams when I was in middle school, high school type of thing. And again, it felt like that. It really did. High intensity, big defensive efforts. Yes, the offense had moments of explosions, and Terry Roziers, once again, credit to where it's due. He was a massive piece for this Miami Heat win and a large piece of that Miami Heat offense. So once again, a massive Miami Heat win. I still think we can go 8-1 through these last 9 games. Here's our last 7. I can't wait to see how things go. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought about this massive Miami Heat victory. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Heat Digest. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys again. I'll see you on the next one.